Yeah, so we just use, what do we have? Fire sticks and, uh, use our Amazon Prime and so forth, things like that. So, anyways, let's go ahead and catch up. It's been a great morning. So we took some PLTR equity, we trimmed out, we sold all that. I rolled into some options. We trimmed SMH, all right, and it looks like we bought Amazon at the bottom. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that, and we'll run through some names here just to show everybody what we're looking at and so forth. So let's go ahead and Amazon. I'm going to put this up on a 4H on the left-hand side. Actually, let's do a weekly over here on the left, and then on the right, we'll go ahead and make this um, a 4H. So just bear with me here, and let's go ahead and link those. All right, there we go. So what I'm looking at on Amazon, we had a technical break of this trend line. I don't trade trend lines. I have them there just for reference. I trade trendy edges, supply and demand, Fibonacci's and so forth. And basically, Amazon broke down. It came low on the curve, so close to the trendy edge, close to my green box. Matter of fact, it came right into my line down here, right there. And so from this area here, what I'm looking at, I bought some debit spreads to the upside. I'm not willing to put the risk on the premium for naked directional right now, just because Amazon's been a big turd. So I'm just laying low, right, and going into debit spreads to the upside. We do have earnings, obviously, on the 28th after market. And this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this week for this pink line to hold in here around 3104. If we can continue up tomorrow, the biggest thing that we're going to be looking for on Amazon is if we can get above that weekly 9 EMA, right? And then over here on the 4 hour, nice little hammer coming up. And then our lower time frame edges, we are trying to hold that. We do have the formations at inside and down. So again, we need that catalyst to push us above that 3170 area. Very important. So 3170 on the day to day. As far as the week is concerned, 3176 is where I'd like to see us get above. All right. Overall targets for right now, 3208 to 3244 as long as this level is holding down here. Again, low risk for a big return. I'm using debit spreads to the upside. Okay, so that's that on Amazon. Let's go ahead and move over here. Everybody's looking at AMD. Let's just do this alphabetically. Why not, right? Let's look at AMD. This thing's a ripper. You can see it. It's pushed right over the trendy edge. This was your go signal here above. I've given targets on this for the last several weeks. This is your target to the upside 98.83. We did hit that. We pulled from it. So what do you do from here? Well, if you're not in it yet, go ahead and just measure this chaotic candle, this big igniter candle. You can call it whatever you want to. Um, the cool thing is that the trendy edge is confluent with the 38.2. We know how important that level is. Long as 96.91 holds, we continue to look for upper targets towards 101.75. That's for the swing. Now, as far as intraday goes, if 98, 99 could break here and we create a base there, I would say on a 30-minute candle, look for that move into 100 to 101. I think everybody's been looking for that round number, right? So that's AMD. And again, stops for me from an intraday perspective would be around 96.91 underneath here. And again, looking for 101. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to come over here. What's going on with SMH, right? So we got out of SMH. I pushed this chart out quite some time ago. I'd say about 2 to 3 weeks ago, right here. And we took the trade, and our extension targets were at 232.78. We hit that last week. We came back into this level, and this is the trendy edge, and this is a big deal. What I did was I sold the further out calls, meaning I sold them for profits, and I actually rolled to a shorter time frame. And what I'm looking for is this 232.78 to hold. And if we can, I think we just kind of flag here. All right. And then I'm looking for that breakout into 239.68 and possibly 240, 245. Now, these things are on fire. NVIDIA is on fire. AMD's on fire. You can go down the list. MU's looking like it's wrapping around and ready to run as well. All right. So SMH, love this. Have loved it for the last several weeks. All right. All right, going on down here again, let's look at Snap. So we took Snap as well. and SNAP. Really nice trade that we had there. And I went ahead and I rolled on this one as well, trying to figure out some prices we want to sell at. But this is what this looks like. This is the weekly over here. This is our 4H. This was our targets. We went ahead and alerted here as we're at T1. Sold up here, and then I rolled to a higher strike, but still some time out. So I'm looking for 58.39. Let's just call it 58. Just like I was showing you on AMD, as long as 53.26 can hold. So far as the swing is concerned, that pink line is a big deal for me. And then this is my target up here at 58.39. Okay, so that's what we got there on SNAP. All right, let's move on down the list here. There are some other names that are looking really great. Let me go ahead and look over my filled orders really quick though, so I can make sure that we're going through everything. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at PLTR, just so you can see what we did this morning. All right, so I'm going to take these fibs off. All right, the way we clean it up just a tad. And what we did was we bought the dip here. The bigger picture on PLTR on the weekly, you're creating an inside and up and a rounding formation from this flag breakdown. So we broke down, we just came into some support. You wait for the inside because listen, this was extended. Let this thing do what it's going to do. Then wait, let it flush people out, right? And then we want to get in on this inside and up formation. And that's what we did this morning. My first target after getting into this was the WE, all right, which is what we call the edge, the trendy edge. And then when we broke above here, I added again. So we trimmed into this. We let it settle. Once it broke above, I added back in. And then I sold up here at the top. And then I rolled into a cheaper option looking for the 28. Okay, looking for the 28 target. This one's a little volatile, so I'm not too concerned about the options. At the moment, we went small on the roll. Already, pretty much financed this with our equity trade. All right, now, as far as today is concerned, you see I have an alert down here. That's why I would like for it to stay above that for today. All right, and again, overall target here at 28. All right, let's go down here. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. We went over Snap. SMH. I added to my AAL. I have a long-term position that I started not too long ago. All right, and so this is down 17 cents. I think I added about 25 or 30 cents ago to the downside, or when it was down 25 to 30 cents. Bigger picture here on AAL, it's coming lower on the curve. Okay, again, lower on the curve. So we started small position, and then I'm adding in this region, and I'm even more willing to add bigger size right here. Long-term position as in for the entire year. What I'm going to do is build a core position here and trade around it. So one thing that I really like to focus and hone in on here at Trendy Trading for especially 2021 is looking for things, looking for companies that have that potential push into 2021, whether you base it on technicals, fundamentals, and so forth, have that core position, but also I'm going to trade around it. I'm not going to hold it the entire year. I'm going to hold a number of shares. And when I look and I give the broad market analysis, we expect pullback. We expect to pull back into today. We've timed it perfectly and we took off most of our shares and everything. And then as things dipped, we add into that position. Okay. So that's what we're doing here. And this is what I'm looking for on AAL. So the big thing here on the weekly, we need to get about the 9 EMA. Notice I'm not fully allocated. We have earnings on 121. Obviously, that's a big deal. If for some reason they miss and whatever and they guide down, I would be looking for this area here in the 13. Now, what I may do just to protect a little bit of my position is buy debit spreads to target this area here on AAL. So again, somewhere around 1350 to 12, just in case it wants to come back into this inside and up. Okay, again, that's American Airlines. It's kind of my look for it. All right. I mean, awesome morning so far. I'm not finished yet, but awesome morning. I mean, I opened up negative. What I told my team here is like, if you made thousands last week and then you open up and you're a couple hundred down, who cares? Right? It's all in the mind. Like what we're doing here is managing very, very good. And now we're back to green. right? So I'm very happy about this morning. Great trade. So let's keep it up, guys. 2021, we're what, 2 weeks in, we're rocking it, man. So let's continue to keep those good vibes. Um, moving over here, I also, oh, BAC, we took BAC this morning and we already trimmed. All right, so this is what we're looking at. Very nice. It's up 20 cents. I think we bought it when it was negative. I like this play because we have earnings coming in on Friday, okay, with some banks and so forth. So on this one, I'm looking for a little bit of momentum. Banks have been really strong. I'd like to see this continuation candle push us up into at around 33.15. Overall, my target for BAC is 34.89. Okay, 34.89. All right, so that covers everything I've done this morning. And also, I bought a lot of time. I bought some XLF uh, for looks like 18 June 21, the 30 calls. So I did start that. And let's go ahead and take a look at that actually. All right, here we are. Very nice chart. Let me go ahead and clear this stuff over here. This is some old school stuff. And we're going to look at the weekly right there. Right. Very straightforward. Going to identify this high and just come just above it. And what I'm going to do is use a Fibonacci extension, this range here, because I'm going for a lot of time, a lot of distance here. And I would say anywhere from 34 into actually this 100% up around 45, okay? And this is what I'm aiming for in this region. I'm not going to be too particular. Again, this is a very long-term position, and I will add into this once I see that we can create a base above that ATH in there, okay? All right, also in XLE, let's go and take a look from here. I'm doing really well here as well. This is the overall strategy into XLE for me. And you can see very simple methodology to follow. I started in this region. If it were to pull back, this is where I'm adding. This is where we're going, 46.68. And, from there, I'll probably add in again, but so I'm in the money here. And then once we get into target, I'll buy some out of the monies towards the 55 and just use them partial profits. All right. All right. So what is on your mind out there? Is there anything else that we're missing? We've had some amazing trades, even that our members have taken either from their own setups using trading methodology or also some of the stuff that we presented here in the room. And one of my favorite ones that I saw this morning was CRWD. Okay. So crowd, check out this. I mean, you just can't make a methodology easier. We pull back into the trendy edge. This is where you're looking to buy. We had some members here buy at the low on the curve, and then the overall you can add into about the neutral. And this, I mean, has ripped from 218 folks into 232. I mean, this is a beautiful trade, and it's staying above the neutral. We're almost to target one. I think, at least from what I saw in the room, you're already trimming out towards this area. Far as I'm concerned, I have quite a few positions on. I'll be looking at crowd. If we can continue this trend, we got a little double top coming up here. I do expect 245 to 250. All right. Again, that's CRWD. And let's go ahead and look at Tesla. I haven't even looked at Tesla today, Nick. Let's take a look. All right, so again, we can't make this up. Made videos on it. I pushed it out last night. You can see we came into the relief bounce area. We moved up from this area, and this is what we expected. We have an inside and down. The bigger level, Nick, the reason why I take butterflies, small risk, huge return, right? So instead of like being over bullish in Tesla after such a huge run and buying the premium at the top, that's just a recipe for disaster. So what we did here is we did really well last week, and very important for us to realize that we did well and turn off the FOMO. right? Turn off the FOMO, and then we start looking at things like spreads and butterflies. So the butterfly, nothing to do here. I still like the chart. I'd really like to see it get back above 865. I think from there, then we can break out if we start to hold above this area. So far, again, we never got over the 884 like I talked about in the video. All right, so therefore we came down into the relief bounce area. If this area cannot close and we for some reason close under here, I do expect it to come into my target right here at around 783. All right, hopefully were you on audio there, Nick? All right, awesome, man. All right, so man, things are going really well. So good job today. Way to stay patient. Um, Looking over my long-term positions, everything we have, the less amount of time. All right, out of all of these, we rolled or we got some BAC 11 days out. PLTR, we made money on the equity side and about a weekly, and that's very rare for today's portfolio holding because everything we have is 39 days to 158. And then we have a couple like the Tesla Butterfly that expires this week, and then we have PLTR that expires this week as well. All right. Everything else very long term, and then shares that we covered as well. Everything's looking great. FCell, we went ahead and let's see, nothing to do there. And the only things I may add into later on would be my Regis, RGS, and FLR infrastructure play. But again, they need to come down a lot more before I add into them. So we're pretty much flat on both those trades. Let's look over here, right? The movies, right? Everyone's laughing at me. Who's laughing now? No, I'm just kidding. But over here at AMC, uh, we started buying down here. At the end of the day, my risk, is down here at zero. This is a very, smaller trade. I can buy 1,000 shares for 2 grand. And what I'm looking for is potentially into summer, maybe beyond that, a year. This is a long-term trade. Move up into 345. Anything above that, 469 and 773. All right. Again, 773 would really is where I'd like to see this move into. All right. All right, let's go ahead and look over some scanners and see what we have as well. So NVIDIA, this one had some news, but we had a target. It hit the target. I'm not going to buy into my target. That's where you sell. And you can see it's holding so far. So going forward into the rest of the week, you need to see a pullback and then a high over the 552 region to start getting us up towards the target after this was 564 and then 588. All right, we also got some BATT. All of these, I believe, we've already um, trimmed. All right, so this is what this looks like right now. So we did really well on this. We're just waiting for it to kind of come in, potentially get to add around the 16, 15 and a half area. Let's go ahead and take a look at Apple. Give me 1 second here. Man, that was a great sell on Mara as well. Man, just absolutely, I'm just so excited that we timed the market perfect this time. And I love that. Let's go ahead and look at Apple. Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think so too. And we can't be perfect, folks. We can't be perfect, but damn, do we get close on our broad market analysis with time in the market. And again, you know, I really hope that everybody enjoys that content when we're looking at all of the factors, the ETFs, gold, TLT, the SKU, P-call, just for fun, looking at fear and greed and seeing how that works into it. But then also looking at the dollar, looking at the dollar. which reminds me, I'm going to look at the dollar really quick. So that's going to be dollar sign DXY. All right, yeah, and we're getting that push just like I expected. So I expected if you go back 2 weeks ago and you listen to the broad market analysis, it's looking for the dollar to go bid and for the market to come down finally. The market has been pushing up during this entire time, but now we're kind of like just bringing it in a little bit. The dollar's got a little strength in it, but I do expect the dollar, if it cannot get over, let's say 91 here, then this could be a short-term pullback in the market with earnings and so forth, all that stuff coming up. So the dollar has some resistance up here towards this neutral at 91. All right. And so it's all in sync. If you were to chart behind this of the SPY, this would be fun for anyone out there to study if you have the time. All right. So again, 91, if we were here and we start to pull back, I'd expect the market just to be a very small dip, unfortunately, because a lot of us are looking for that fire sale, not for profits, but to be able to add to positions and really position yourselves well for the rest of the year. Again, I'm going to ride the trend, but I would love to see a bigger pullback to get some range in some of these names. All right, let's go back over here on Apple. I just want to check it out. I haven't traded today or anything like that, but I just want to see what it's doing. As far as the week is concerned, you can see that there's not really a lot going on. Give me 1 second. TOS is acting weird today. I think anybody would agree with me that has Thinkorswim, but there we go. Come back, baby. All right, so we're between the accelerator and decelerator. We haven't quite come into the 9 EMA. If the market continues to sell off, I'm probably a buyer around the green box here at around 126.75 or so. Over here on the 4 hour, we went over some of this morning. We're still below the 9 EMA. We're catching bids at my target at 128.76. But if you're buying on the dip when the overall broad market is selling off, then you need to be selling the rip, so the temporary rip. To me, the range has not been created yet for that big swing position. So we just need to, focus on profits when we get them. So, and then let's see here. Pexi looking at entering NIO. Oh, NEO. Thank you. I didn't know if you were correcting yourself. So NEO. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Any specific reason why you're looking at entering that? It's okay. I mean, did you like did you have some kind of let's do that. Clean it up. I like the round and bottom here. I like the fact that we're lower. We're pretty close to 90 EMA, and we checked back to 90 EMA last week, Pexi. So really, at the end of the day, um, it looks a little choppy. So anybody out there that's watching, we got inside and down. We got some rounding, but you have some resistance that was started here in this area. And you can see it can't get over that. You got the inside and down here. You have this. Really, what I like here in this type of market, we talked about this in broad market analysis over the weekend, is that I kind of like the iron condors here. You got this resistance that was built overnight, and then you have the support of the trendy levels, and only if it makes sense, selling premium here and protecting it with an iron condor is it's kind of like it's the look that I like right now because if for some reason one of the positions starts to look better, we can manage it on the other side and buy back those shorts or those longs and make it a naked directional. So, and let's see here, our Oxy trade is up 12%. These are all equity trades. Everything's up very nice. American Airlines, like I said, is down, small though. And FLR, I'm looking at adding into FLR. AMC is at 6% right now. battery 5%, FCell 4%, MCS 4%, Oxy 12%, and then we got X, we're up 8%. Okay, so very nice trades there on the equity side. And then over here on Airbnb, they might be catching a bid here. They're like all over the place, aren't they? They really are. This Airbnb, I have some spreads on this, and I like this from a weekly perspective. We're sitting right above the 9 EMA, it's looking pretty good. So, and then you can see over here on the 4H, we just reclaimed the 9 EMA. I like this push up into 154, but man, this thing can get going over this 155 area. So this is what I'm waiting on. All right. So anyways, we'll catch up with you guys here soon. Awesome morning, awesome week. Again, going to be an awesome week. Keep those good vibes, and I can't wait to get us looking for some more trades here. So.